Sports Zone 101 would like to congratulate the 2008 boys hockey team on their induction into the RMHS Athletic Hall of Fame. Beginning in the 1982-83 season and continuing for the better parts of 2+ decades and into the new millennium, the Reading High boys hockey team was consistently among the elite high school programs in the state. The Rockets practically owned the Middlesex League and were always capable of giving any school a fierce battle come state tournament time. But they could not get over the hump and be the final team standing. The Division 1A tournament, or Super 8, as it has grown to be more commonly known, is a prestigious hockey tournament that a public school simply cannot win. Or so we were led to believe. The Rockets would win that occasional tourney game over CM or Matignon, thrilling the town and briefly stunning the high school hockey landscape. But the deck is always stacked against a public school team that can only draw players from its town borders, while the Catholics are in essence all-star teams, comprised of talented players from all around who enroll at those institutions in search of hockey glory. But there was always a thought and hope that if one public school could do it someday, it would be Reading. And in the 2007-2008 season, the Rockets broke the glass ceiling and shocked the high school hockey world in the state of Massachusetts as a bunch of homegrown, talented kids that stayed to play at their public high school were the last team standing as they beat 4 Catholic school teams on the way to the title. Coached by Reading High Athletic Hall of Famer Peter Doherty, his Reading teams over the years had some supreme talent, but he preached foremost hard work, discipline, unselfishness, and accountability. Doherty never stated ever that his program's goal was to win a state championship. All he wanted his Reading teams to do was try and win the Middlesex League, and then, if they were selected to play in the Super 8, that just verified that his teams were included among the best in high school hockey. That was enough in his eyes. On Sunday night, March 16th, 2008, before 9,000 at the TD Garden, how fitting it was that Reading High was the first public school hockey team to win the Super 8. Reading posted a 3-0 win over Malden Catholic in the championship game. There was a sense that the 2008 Rockets did it not only for themselves, but for all past Reading teams who came close, and for all public high schools for that matter, who just could not slay the dragon and bring home a state hockey title for a public school. By all means, this was no fluke. The Rockets were absolutely loaded with talent. Starting with the explosive first line of Michael Losey, Patrick Kiley, and Rob Toslowski, who were all multiple league all-stars and all-scholastic players. This trio lit the offensive fire for the Rockets on the way to a still-standing, likely never-to-be-broken school record, 148 goals in 26 games. Toslowski scored 35 goals, while Kiley and Losey each potted 25 in that magical season. Then there was the defenseman pairings of Garrett Collins and Travis Bush, and Quinlan Junta with John Michael Leach, who played well at both ends of the ice, as well as the support from Tyler Sylvie and Brian McCabe along the blue line. Junior goaltender Jeff Wire had a 1.15 goals against average with 7 shutouts. Not to be overlooked, second and third line forwards like Ryan Arsenault, Devin Albert, John Kane, Sean McGoldrick, Bill Cataldo, Brett Lepore, and Eric McNeil had their fine moments. Ryan Tierney, Matt Stratton, Nick McDonald, and Mike Shea also added their contributions to this championship run. The seeds to the run to the state title in 2008 perhaps were sown back in 2005 when that senior class were freshmen, and they lost a close game to Catholic Memorial in the Super 8 semifinals. That gave them confidence and motivation that they were in the mix. 2 years later, the 2007 season, Reading had a typical season of winning the Middlesex League and making the Super 8 tournament. The Rockets lost all 3 of their round-robin pool games in the Super 8 that year and went away quietly. However, upon further inspection, high hopes for 2008 were pretty obvious, as all of their top 7 scorers from that team would be back the following year. The 2008 Rockets started the campaign off on a blistering pace as they won their first 13 games in dominating fashion. Only one of those first 13 wins was by a margin of 1 goal, as the Rockets were beating teams by scores of 6-0, 7-1, 9-2, and 10-1. BC High stopped the Reading win streak with a 3-1 victory over the Rockets at Burbank Arena. But that didn't slow Reading's momentum, and the Rockets and Eagles would also meet later that season in a more meaningful game. Reading capped off the regular season with 7 more wins and became the second team in Middlesex League history to go a perfect 18-0-0 in league play. The other was the 1996-97 Reading team. The Rockets earned their revenge on BC High in the first game in the Super 8 with a 2-1 win at the DCU Center in Worcester. Goals by Losey and Kiley lifted the Rockets to the win and cleared a major hurdle for them while earning some confidence and momentum going into a meeting with Catholic Memorial. The Super 8 was played within 2 pools during that season, meaning the 8 teams selected all played 3 games, with the top 2 in each pool advancing to the single elimination semifinals. Reading's next opponent was Catholic Memorial. Oddly enough, this was the first meeting between the public and Catholic school powers that season. From 2001 through 2007, the 2 teams played an end of the regular season non-league game each year. But in 2008, that series was discontinued, so this single meeting was extra special. Playing at Songus Arena, the Rockets were always in control, as goals from Kiley, Junta, Collins, Tozlowski, and Losey paved the way to a 5-2 win and assured the Rockets of a spot in the tournament semifinals. Reading didn't miss a beat in its final pool game against Waltham, a 4-1 win. And then they put away Xaverian, 5-2, in the semifinals. In the final at the TD Garden, Reading's first, second, and third lines, as well as all of its defensive pairs, put the finishing touches on a nearly flawless 25-1 campaign. In net, Wire kept the game scoreless as the Rocket offense started slow in the first period.
Oh, what a save that time!
But as if on cue, Kiley faked out a Malden Catholic defender and chipped a shot over the left shoulder of the MC goalie into the net with 3:19 left in the period to put Reading on the board. Malden Catholic was not, however, ready to go away, as it took a sparkling save by Wire late in the period to preserve the 1-0 lead at the end of one.
Oh, what a save!
At the start of the second period, a fluke goal by Tozlowski then changed the momentum of the game for good. Dumping one in from the neutral zone on net, the puck found its way across the goal line for a 2-0 Reading lead. Soon after, Tozlowski took a nice diagonal pass from Losey and fired home a shot from above the left faceoff circle to make it 3-0.
There's it, 3-0 Rockets!
There was little drama left after that, as Reading was content to play a composed, defensive-oriented brand of hockey the rest of the way.
And you hear the buzz in the building now, under a minute to go here, third period.
In the final 2 minutes, the large Reading crowd, most wearing 01867 t-shirts, could taste the imminent, groundbreaking victory and stood in applause and counted down the final seconds to the win. Then, when the final horn sounded, the Reading team exploded onto the ice in jubilant celebration.
Let's watch history being made.
There have been plenty of other great Reading High athletic teams to be inducted into this Hall of Fame, but there is a shorter list of those squads who were slam dunks of an entry, like the 2008 boys hockey team. which ranks as perhaps the best of the all-time bests in the annals of Reading High athletic team history.
Reading Memorial High School, the first public school to win the Super 8 title.
The Reading High Athletic Hall of Fame welcomes the 2008 boys hockey team into its class of 2022.